Everything has been so dark, so cold. The days of Bionicle are behind us. And now, I don't know what lies ahead. A reboot? Halo Infinite content? I'm not sure. Is it nostalgia? No. We're far too blinded by that. What could make Bionicle enjoyable again? Bring it to a newer audience. It's oranges. Wait, no, not those oranges. It's suddenly oranges. Yes. Reviving Bionicle. Halo Infinite content. I can view all of this internet nostalgia right now.
Okay, that was really rough. Starting out in the early 2000s, Bionicle was a series of Lego toy figure things that were commercially made to sell as something that wasn't Lego. Lego is, of course, a titan of the toy business and has made a multitude of very successful products and IPs. Personally, I grew up on Ninjago, things like Nexo Knights, and all of these other titles, which of those two, one would go to fall into obscurity and never be seen again, and the other one is now thriving on a new reboot. But what I wanted to talk about here in this video was sort of a halfway ode to Bionicle and a ode to the YouTubers Suddenly Oranges. When I was super into Bionicle, obviously, me being someone who is 17 years old, I'm not really someone who grew up on the original run of Bionicle, but instead was hooked on G2 of it. Now, if you were a fan of Bionicle, you know that G2 was kind of a cluster of garbage. And overall, it was very unfaithful to the original, simplified and toned down for a more modern baby brain audience, and that baby brain audience was me. But I couldn't get enough of these cool characters and this cool brand, so I instead absorbed as much G1 content as humanly possible. I found myself in love with these characters and their weapons, their cool details, all of the neat things that made Bionicle enjoyable. It was little details like you being able to remove Tahu's swords and make a surfboard, or the little details like being able to fold the Borok or put the Krana on the face of the Toa. All of these things made Bionicle an absolute treat to anyone who just was a kid at the time, and I'm so upset that I wasn't around for that part directly. But I'm very happy that I was able to experience the content secondhand. I was able to look back on it and still find myself somewhat able to buy some of the stuff that was being resold, and a lot of my Bionicle collection is very hodgepodged and put together with new parts and old parts, and I guarantee if any G1 fan looked at it or hardcore collector would look at it, they would probably scream. But, I mean, I'm not gonna be a person who's just gonna ramble on the internet about, a toy brand, but there are plenty of people who do that. Particularly, I wanted to talk about the YouTuber Suddenly Oranges, which in my last video I talked about a YouTuber named Dumbsville who shaped a lot of my early years and has overall helped me find the things that I enjoy. But Suddenly Oranges is a person who actually did something very similar in the fact that they made content around Bionicle, and my Bionicle obsession was able to find its way into a beautifully crafted series that talks about nostalgia, getting over things, and learning to accept that your favorite thing is not what it used to be. Or at least that's what I interpreted from it. For all I know, it is just a silly Bionicle series, and later on there would be a statement from Oranges himself saying, hey, I don't really like that I'm just making this right now. And this is probably a very outdated post, and I probably didn't really give that the best context, but overall, it's not something that I think he wanted to pursue a lot, as when you go to his content, or in this scenario, Little Me went to his content and found not Bionicle content, but instead Halo Infinite content and just Halo in general, I was not disappointed, as I do enjoy the Halo franchise, but I was surprised. And going there now, you will find a lot of Halo content still. And going into a deeper dive, I wanted to talk a little about Halo as well. Halo Infinite is a game that upon launch, or at least for the multiplayer, I did a review of. and it was not one of my best videos, and I have a lot of friends of mine bug me about all the stuff I got wrong in it. But it is a fascinatingly good multiplayer game that you can enjoy for free, and if you want to buy it, I'm sure there is a wonderful story. But I still have the entire Master Chief collection, and I have just yet to play it, and that is all stuff that I need to do at some point. I guess the other bit of the bulk of this video was supposed to just go back to oranges, and I've kind of trailed off from that because I'm doing this new thing where I'm just kind of one-taking all of these because I want this little talking about YouTuber series to be as natural as possible. But I'm also probably going to have to evolve my content at some point and stop being boring, but for now, this works. Suddenly Oranges has a lot of humor in his little Bionicle series, and I'll probably flash some clips throughout the video as I
You need a little more faith in me sometimes.
really don't want to get any kind of copyright strike. I don't make money off of this, but I just don't like seeing that little notification, as I am airing a bunch of commercials for the series. Not the Suddenly Oranges series, but the Bionicle commercials themselves, which I'm starting to realize is probably going to be a pain in the butt to install, because I'm not going to install every single one of these individually. I'm lazy. But enough rambling out of the way. Reviving Bionicle generally starts with Tahu being sad about Bionicle being gone. And what a lot of people notice, and I am pretty sure there is a interview with him where they talk about this, but it is the Tahu Stars figure instead of the original. And I think there is a reason, but I also think he also just said that it was funny, so I'm not gonna really say much on that. So Tahu goes to Kopaka and asks repeatedly things about how to bring Bionicle back, or is Bionicle truly gone? And it's a whole series that I can't explain very well, but this is more of just an ode to it. I think you should really go watch this series yourself. I'll link his channel, and I'll link all of this other content that I've mentioned in the description, so that way it's not piracy or anything. But I mainly just wanted to make a little video rambling about things and say, hey, I really like this content creator, and I hope that that little skit at the beginning was any kind of small ode. But yeah, that's about it for this video. See ya.
That could not have gone more perfect.